but the idea of maybe going back and revisiting topics, or sometimes you need to reset the context frequently because
we've learned new things, different
yeah,
experiences, right?
new experiences. Maybe our opinions have changed, but then also new listeners as well. You can't expect at this point for someone to go back and listen to all 217 episodes prior to this. So that is my long, babbling, rambling way of introducing our topic today. I want to talk about unlimited time off again. And right now, I'm titling this is why is it so polarizing? So a couple things I want to do is since we had that first conversation 3 years ago, how has your perspective and thoughts changed on the idea of unlimited paid time off, because it is one of the benefits that we offer? And then touching on like, why is it a touchy subject?
Yeah.
Why is there usually a visceral reaction one way or another from folks when it comes to the idea of a benefit being unlimited paid time off?
Yeah, good questions. And so, as you mentioned, the conversation we had on our previous podcast, it forced us to go back and reflect and actually change some things. So I think one of the things that we almost immediately put into play was a minimum. We expect people to take a minimum amount of days off, because that's one of the I think areas of pushback we heard in general, but also we heard directly from members of the team that it's like sometimes I feel like maybe I shouldn't take time off, and um,
Or I'm
and
taking too much time
I'm
off.
taking too much time off. So what are the expectations? So even though we want the message to be that the team has autonomy to be able to design their schedule, we understood that it was important to give them some structure within that, because it did tend to create some anxiety and some stress around how much time should I be taking off. So that was kind of an immediate change that we made coming out of that conversation. I think more broadly, you and I have had a lot of conversations around the importance of words that we use. And I think, unfortunately, that the word unlimited time off has a universally accepted negative connotation to it. Most people see it as a very negative thing, as you mentioned, a bait and switch. If you start talking about this on a social network like LinkedIn, I guarantee you instantly people are going to jump into that conversation and say, no, this is just a bullshit way that, companies spin off something that looks good for employees, but actually is designed to only benefit the company. And that's kind of the connotation that goes with it, which is unfortunate because, in at least in our end, and so do companies do that? Absolutely, for sure they do. But that's definitely not our desire or aim or how we run our time off program. But I understand that it comes with a lot of baggage. And also I think it's worth going back, and I've thought a lot about this, thinking about what the terminology should be to really describe what it is that we're trying to design for our employees. And it really doesn't describe it well, right? Because if you just take it for face value, unlimited time off, there is going to be the snarky person that is instantly going to jump into the comments, and you know what they're going to say? Any
What?
guesses? They're going to say, oh, really? Okay, well, I'm just going to take 365 days off a year. What are you going to do about it? It's unlimited time off. I have unlimited time off, right? So,
Mm.
it kind of creates this disconnect, and it really isn't unlimited, right? To that point, if you never do a day of work, then it doesn't make sense. Like there's no way you can afford to make that last for any appreciable amount of time. And so I think unlimited time off, the idea behind it is correct, but I think the words probably don't do it proper justice of describing what it actually is. And from my perspective, it's I guess a couple things that we're trying to solve for, but ultimately it's about making sure that our employees have freedom and autonomy to design a schedule that works for them. Number one, most important. And number two, so three things. Number two, I didn't want any kind of arbitrary caps on how much time you could take off. Because things change. Maybe it's an important event. Maybe you've had like a birth of a child, and maybe for some reason like you blew all your vacation in the first couple months, and then you have an amazing opportunity in September. It's like, oh, sorry, you hit your cap. You can't go on vacation. Like we wanted to remove that barrier. Like if there's an opportunity to have meaningful time off, whether it's time to recharge or create a new life experience, we wanted our employees to be able to have that option and not have to constantly make a buy decision of, do I take it now or do I save this for later because something may come up? Like, well, why not do both? And then the third thing was we wanted to make sure that our employees had a reasonable amount of time to take off whenever. And it's one of the drawbacks of earned PTO, is as a new employee, you have no PTO. Maybe you have a half day, right? And you can use that to go to the dentist. But that's about it. You have to work for an appreciable amount of time to start collecting any time off, to take any time off that you need. So what happens if you're 3 months into a new work experience and you have a great travel opportunity? Maybe you just need some time to recharge, but you don't have time off. What do? You don't do it. And so that's a horrible experience. And so we wanted to account for that as well. But to the naysayers, is it unlimited time off? Well, of course not. We actually have to do work as well. So unlimited really doesn't properly describe it. What our policy is a policy that allows for autonomy, and allows for flexibility for employees to be able to take time off that is meaningful for them, regardless of some kind of hard cap about how much time they have available to them.